Hey, love, happy Valentine's Day. Little wisdom here from me in a hotel room in Columbus, Ohio, and Dove chocolate, because they always have the best advice. Last night I was with 15 women talking about self love. What does it mean to really love ourselves? And what is holding us back? What are the nasty things that we say to ourselves? What are the doubts that we hold against ourselves? What are the past mistakes that we hold against ourselves that are really keeping us from living the life that we want to live? Whether that, for one woman, it was taking a risk and putting herself out there. Another woman said being big. She's got this business that she started. She wants to be big. Another woman said holding her back from just being content and really appreciating what she does have and spending time with her kids. And so at the end of the night, our hostess gave us these little Valentine's gift bags with these chocolates inside. And I popped a piece of chocolate, and then I read my little note inside of Dove, and it says, find someone to accept you completely. And my first thought when reading this, I went to my husband, because I am blessed that I found someone who accepts all of me, including my temper that sometimes gets out of control, and including my gas, and including just things that maybe are not so pretty. But in really looking at this, what came to me is to be someone who accepts myself completely. Rather than finding someone else, being someone who accepts myself completely. Sorry, that chokes me up a little bit. Because there are parts of me that I don't accept yet. There are warts, right? There are parts of my personality that I don't yet accept, the temper being one of them. Sometimes I'm quick to judgment. Sometimes I say things that I don't mean to say. And to be someone who accepts myself completely would mean to accept that I have some shadow sides too. I'm not all love and sunshine. I have some shadow sides too. And accepting doesn't mean that I want to bolster those parts of my personality and bring them to the world even more. It means really understanding with love and compassion that it was a younger part of me that created that temper, right? I'm the youngest of three, grew up in a really loud family, and the only way to be heard was to scream even louder. So it's little Karen, it's the younger me that created that temper, and my job now is to love her and hold her and tell her I'm not mad at her. I'm not going to hate that part of me anymore, but I'm going to love her and help show her that we don't have to be that way anymore. What is it about you that is begging for your acceptance? What are the warts or the parts of yourself that you hate? The shadows? That if you could just shed some light on them, if you could get in touch with the younger you that created those parts of yourself and hug that younger you who was just doing the best she could to create, to just survive, then maybe you could come to accept all of you too. The other thing that really came to me around acceptance is accepting the parts of me that I think other people are going to think are weird or strange or silly. One of those parts is I really love to get naked. I love getting naked. I am a bit of a wild woman. I'm even a little uncomfortable saying this, even though I've put it on my blog before. But I kind of think you're going to be sitting there and thinking I'm a freak for saying that. And this came up last night a little bit, and one of the women was like, whoa, tell me more about that. I want to hear about you getting naked in the woods with women. Like, yeah, let's talk about that. So there are parts of myself, right? So when I was younger, I was the good girl. And I learned, right? My parents said since I was the youngest that they got it right the third time. And so being the good girl meant any of these kind of wild urges, like I wanted to masturbate when I was, not wanted to, I masturbated when I was young and had sexual fantasies when I was young. And I just shut all of that off thinking it was bad. And so being a woman, someone who accepts myself completely, is accepting that part of me too. And I'm still working on that. I'm accepting her more and more, bringing her out more and more, talking with my husband about how we can bring her out, experimenting with how to bring her out, and I set myself on a wild woman retreat last year. So really like learning to accept that that is a part of me. So what is a part of you that you have hid? One of my clients, it's her spiritual side. She grew up with pretty spiritual parents that she kind of thought were weird. So she shut that part of herself off. Another one of my clients, it was her sensitive side. She was always told, you're too sensitive, you're too sensitive, you're too sensitive. So she shut that off and built this huge wall. That actually happened to me too. Maybe all of this has happened to all of us. Anytime you are squishing down a part of you, a core part of you, and all of these are part of you, the shadows, the lights, all of it are part of you, then you are not accepting yourself fully, and you won't be able to love yourself and be yourself and live your purpose. We live our purpose by being our full selves in the world, by accepting all of us, by loving with compassion all of us, by forgiving ourselves for our past mistakes, by having resilience to move on after the challenges, and by expressing who you really are. I guarantee this, that whatever it is that you think is a freak show or bad or ugly, the more you start sharing it, the more other people will go, oh, thank God I'm normal. Ah, thank God I'm not alone. So the process of self-love, which is one, to accept yourself, accept all parts of you. Two, to have compassion, speak to yourself with forgiveness and kindness the way you would a little girl, a little 5-year-old or a little 10-year-old, because believe me, we are every age we have ever been. And so inside of you is a 13-year-old that, had her heart broken for the first time, and inside of you is a 10-year-old that didn't get picked for the team, and inside of you is a 20-year-old who was told that she wasn't a good enough writer to pursue her dream. So accepting all of ourselves and then loving and talking to ourselves with compassion and kindness. And then 3, listening for that voice of intuition. What are some of those secret desires? For me last year, it was like, I want to get naked in the woods with women. And I felt like a freak saying that the first time. Until I looked up online, and there are other retreats, and there are thousands, maybe millions of women who want to do the same thing. And it's not sexual. It's just being free and open and letting the good girl go and saying, I am who I am. Which gets to the 4th part, which is expressing yourself. One of the things I've learned from Brené Brown, the amazing researcher on vulnerability and shame, is that shame likes to hide in dark places. And so those parts of yourself that you're ashamed of and you are not accepting just causes you more pain. And it will keep haunting you. That stuff will keep coming back, either in the form of a physical illness or in the form of mental challenges, relationship issues. And so it's time, love, on this Valentine's Day, which for me is really all about self-love and really coming to accept myself and give you love to accept yourself. On this Valentine's Day, vow that you will begin the work of accepting who you are, of learning, of getting to know, who am I really? What are my strengths? What are my values? What are my shadow sides? And accepting all of you. And that you will begin to treat yourself with kindness and love and compassion as you would a little child, as you would your best friend. And that as you have those inklings of dreams, ideas, purpose, or just the desire for purpose, that you will reach out and you will go express yourself, or at least do the work to figure out what that is. Because my love, you deserve it. Wishing you a happy, happy, happy Valentine's Day. A deep, fulfilling, self-loving Valentine's Day. May you treat yourself the way you want to be treated. Whatever it is that you want to hear from a lover today, say it to yourself. Whatever gifts you want from a lover, give them to yourself. And above all else, treat yourself as the queen that you are, as the goddess that you are. All right, I'm off to do my talk today to about 200 human resources professionals that I get to talk to about engagement, which is really the same as self-love. It all comes down to that. And purpose, of course. All right, my love, have a beautiful day. May you love yourself. May you live on purpose. And may you love life. Bye for now.